What's up, boys? It's Nick from Team Table 501 here. I am the king of the scrubs, and I am finally back after a bit of a hiatus. Because once again, I've just kind of fallen out of liking of Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment. I think that the game is in pretty disarray, or disarray, whatever the word is for that. Staples are way too expensive. The matchups just aren't even fun to play anymore. Like, the only reason I have a deck is because there's a small group of people on my campus that like playing, and I want to try to keep them up to date with the competitive scene because they're trying to get more competitive. So I tried to build, like, the best deck I could with what I owned, and this is about as good as I'm going to get. So anyway, this is my rank 4 Salamangreat-ish deck profile. I've played the deck pretty much since the cards came out, and I really like where this build is because it's just not playing as many bricks or just as many bad cards as like normal Salamangreats do. This is budgeted down, but I do have a few expensive cards in here, but I'll get to them. And the deck list that is in the description is different than the one in this deck profile by a few cards, and I will explain those when I get there. But as always, the deck list is in the description along with my Facebook and my Twitter. Fuck! My Facebook and my Twitter. Go follow me. Go add me as a friend. I post cool shit. And without further ado, let's just get into the deck list. So, this is a Salamangreat deck, obviously, so we're going to start with the Salad Boy combo pieces. 3 copies of Salamangreat Gazelle, 3 copies of Salamangreat Spinny, and then 3 copies of Salamangreat Foxy. All of these cards are level 3 starters that get your plays going in one way, shape, or another. Gazelle is your Foolish Burial, Spinny is your Extender, and Foxy is a Pot of Duality on normal summon, and it can bring itself back from the grave and blow up spells or traps. The fact that this gets rid of face-up spells and traps is just randomly relevant against a ton of matchups. Like against Sky Striker, you can get rid of their multi-roll to stop recurring advantage. In the mirror match, you outwill and Sanctuary. Against Orcus, you get rid of their field spell, that way they can't use their effects on your turn. Like, it just allows for so many, it just outs problematic cards. It gets rid of Floodgates as well from decks like Draco and Paleo, so. And then something I'm doing that most deck lists are not doing are 3 copies of Salamangreat Foul. I saw this from a list that made top 8 of a regional, so shout out to that guy. But this card is just stupid good in this deck because it allows you to chain block your Gazelle or Foxy when you're trying to get plays going, and this is a level 4. So it fills the role of Lady Debug in most of your combos, and it's a Salad Boy card, which means you can search it off Circle, and it means that cards like Gazelle plus Circle, which is normally a negate, means you get 2 negates, because now you have Foul. So you have another level 4 to add to your board, which means you can make a rank 4. And then, like, Gazelle, Spinny, Foul, or some combination of these 3 cards is a 2-negate combo with a Sunlight Wolf that drew you a card. So you have, like, it just recurs so many resources. And the fact that this is just like a Trickstar Light Stage as well against other matchups where you can just, like, you freeze that back row, freeze that back row, freeze that back row. Like, this card's very good. And then 1 Falco, 1 Jaguar. These are pretty standard Salamangreat inclusions. Oh, excuse me. These are all just like standard Salamangreat level 4s. They allow you to extend plays. Jaguar is really good at putting your resources back. Falco's really good at putting your resources back. The only extender are 2 copies of Crusadia Reclusia. I was trying out Terror Top. I didn't like it. I don't own Psychic Wielder. I don't really like that card. I don't think making level 6 Synchros is worth it. I just would rather have the hard removal of Reclusia. And even going first, it's still just like a level 3 extender that you can get back off your Sunlight Wolf. So. And then for the hand traps, 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 2 copies of DD Crow, and then 3 copies of Effect Valor. So we'll talk about these one at a time. Ash is obviously pretty standard. This is like the best hand trap in the game right now. Like, it's a level 3 fire monster, so it works well with your Salad Boy cards if you have to normal summon it. It's a tuner, so if you wanted to play Synchros in your extra deck, you could, and you get it back off your Sunlight Wolf, which is really relevant. The 2 main deck DD Crow is where a lot of lists differ. Most people have Phantasmes in this spot, and I would as well, except I'm broke as shit. I don't have $120 each or whatever Phantasme is right now. And this card is actually just, like, really good. You can steal so many game 1s from people not playing around this card. Like, I remember I was at Locals the other day, and I was able to DD Crow my opponent's Spinny in the mirror, and that just ended their turn. And then on my turn, I killed them with Fusion of Fire. Whereas if this was a Phantasme, my opponent could continue to combo off, make a big board, and then force me to play through it. Whereas because it was DD Crow, their turn ended and I killed them. So, and it's like, it's got applications on other matchups. Like in Striker, you hit, when they go for their Kagari, when they target engage, you can DD Crow the engage. Against Danger Thunder Dragon, you can hit the... you can hit whatever baby dragon they have, so you can stop plays there, or you can get rid of like their Eclipse Wyvern or their, or you can just like get rid of like some other combo piece against like a bunch of rogue decks. It is dead against like the Floodgate decks, but that matchup's already pretty good for you, so I'm not overly worried about it. And then 3 Veiler. This card's just very good right now. Like, if I didn't have Ash, I would just play like as many Veilers. Even with Ash, I would play as many Veilers as possible. Like, I think this is just like the best budget hand trap in the game. This card's actually just stupid powerful right now. So, like, just being able to like cripple your opponent off a resource. And this is one of the few hand traps in DD Crow as well, where they're not once per turn, so you can open multiple of these and still be able to have interruptions. That's it for the monsters. I think it's like 24. Onto the spells. 3 Rhoda. This card is broken. And something I learned today was that this only targets Salamangreat Link monsters. This cannot target any Salamangreat monster. Because someone tried Ghost Ogreing my Violet Chimera, and I chained this thinking it would protect it, and it didn't work, and I lost that game. So that was good to know. And then the one-of Salad Boy cards. 1 Sanctuary, 1 Will, 1 Fusion of Fire. Fusion of Fire is just this deck's only actual way to win the game. Like sure, you can stun your opponent out and like beat them down with like a 2000 Mirage Dahlia, but this is how you would just actually kill your opponent. Sometimes Will do it as well, where like Will brings back 3 monsters and then you just like make this crazy big board and you kill them. But this is most of the time you're killing them with like a Violet Chimera that has like 5000 attack and is dealing double damage. So Sanctuary's the brick you have to play, and then Will's the soul charge. Card is dumb. 2 Called by the Grave. I wanted to make room for 3, but I really just like felt like 3 was overkill. I did want to have some number in the deck so that I'm able to force my plays to go through. If I don't have the foul to protect my cards, I want to have a Call by the Grave to like prevent my opponent from Veilering my Gazelle so that I can get my combo going. Or prevent my Sunlight Wolf from getting Ghost Ogre since I want it to be on the board. But like drawing this card in multiples is really bad, which is why I'm only playing 2. And just like a lot of the hand traps in the format right now can't get hit with Call by the Grave, like Phantasme and Permanence. Other stuff, Gamma as well. This can't get hit. This can't hit those cards, so. And then the 1 Foolish Burial. This is both a starter and an extender, which is why I like it. That's it for the spells. For the traps, 2 Roar and a Rage. Rage is dumb. This card actually won me like 4 games today. Like, you're just able to like make, like, most of the time I don't even send my Roar, I send my Rage. Because I want my opponent to make a pretty big board, and then I can just like get them with this. I can just like target a Sunlight Wolf or a Heat Leo and get rid of like all their cards. Roar is obviously good because it negates. So usually game 1 I go and get Rage, and then after side decking I get Roar to protect myself from like Pinkertops, Evenly Matched, Cyber Dragon. Like just being able to protect myself from that's pretty important. So, and then I'm playing 4 Solemns. These cards are pretty good going first, obviously, because they're traps. And even going second may help you a lot of the time, because you can like make your try to make a play, get interrupted, and then like set these during your turn. And then during your opponent's turn, when they try to like activate effects to extend their board or try to kill you, you can negate them. So I do normally take these out going second, but game 1 they have some pretty good implications. And again, going first, they're able to act as extra pieces of interaction so that you don't die. That's it for the main deck. It's 40 cards. The only thing I would do is add Phantasme. Like, I just don't have $300. You can play in Permanence. I don't actually think it's that necessary. I think once Impermanence gets reprinted and I get my hands on some, I might put them in here, but even with that, they might just go to the side. I'm not entirely sure. I kind of like the way I have my deck built right now. So, onto the extra deck. Batman. 2 copies of Banlinks. I know some people play 3 of this card. I don't actually think you need to play 3 of this card. You only really need 1 to get your Sanctuary and 1 to protect your cards. And then you can obviously just get it back with Sunlight Wolf, so you don't really need to play 3. I've had very few games where I want the 3rd Banlinks. I have had plenty of games where I want more than 3 Sunlight Wolves. This card's fucking broken. Like, just being able to get back a ton of cards for free And like the fact that it punishes your opponent for playing into its extra into the arrow that it gives them is pretty dumb. And just like it's your win condition, really. Like I say, Violet Chimera is the win condition. This is pretty much the win condition. You like the fact that this just recurs all your combo pieces and allows you to keep going is really dumb. And it's so it's so easy to summon. It's just 2 fire effect monsters. So, and then double Heat Leo. This is what makes Violet Chimera alive, and it's also not once per turn as well, so you're able to get rid of all your opponent's back row, and then shrink their monster to 0 or whatever because of having an Ash or a Veiler engrave, and then you're able to kill your opponent from there. Phoenix to help out back row, and it has the fire synergy, and Ningirsu, because a lot of people have been playing Borreload recently, I don't know why, but Borreload is very hard to out in the mirror because a lot of your effects target, so this is an out to it. Fusion of Fire is also an out because it just Violet Chimera takes a Salamangreat and a Link, so as long as you have a Salamangreat in the field, you can get rid of the Borreload. But Ningirsu is another out to Borreload, which is really easy to make because of Will and Salamangreat. Will can like bring back a bunch of monsters, you can convert those into Links, and can then convert into Ningirsu and get rid of your opponent's board. And then, so that's it for the Links. For the XCs, I play 1 Stalio and 1 Gossip Shadow. If you don't have the money for Gossip Shadow, you could play something like Zen Mains, or Met-Clip Danganir, or just a rank 3 that has either Protection or Disruption on your opponent's turn. This is Disruption because it changes one of your opponent's monster effects to each player draws a card. So you're able to like stop their main play like a Saryuja or a what's its name? The Guard Dragon guy, so that they don't make a big board and kill you. And I think I'm sorry. I think you only need 1 copy of Stalio, because you can easily get it back with Sunlight Wolf and Jack Jaguar. And the second one doesn't really come up a lot of the time. And then for rank 4 is Dweller, because it's broken, Tornado Dragon, because it wins you games, and Baguska, because I really couldn't think of a better rank 4. This probably should just be an Exciton Knight, actually, because going second Exciton Knight's pretty good at just being like, alright, like, make my Sunlight Wolf, make Exciton, wipe your board, have Balinx protect my Exciton Knight, or have Balinx protect my Sunlight Wolf, and then you just get to go in. The problem with that is that most of the time you need Stalio to combo, and Stalio locks you into fire effects. So if you make the Exciton Knight and your opponent just doesn't play into it, it didn't do anything. Whereas you can just make this going second, shrink your opponent's board, and force them into making Links to out this idiot. And if they can't do that, then you're able to get a free turn of just being able to not die, and then on your turn you just kill them. So, but you could try an Exciton Knight. I've seen some people play like Castel. I've seen a couple of people play like more Dwellers, or just play like more Links instead of this. But I like having as many rank 4s as possible to diversify my options for my extra deck. And then the win condition being Violet Chimera. This is your Fusion of Fire target. This is how you win the game, like 95% of the time. And this is where the different cards come in, because I just don't own a lot of cards. So I guess I'll talk about them. 2 Ghost Ogre, 2 Game of Seal, and Imperial Order. In the deck list in the description, it's actually 3 Joel and Lockbird and 2 more Fusion of Fires. I just do not own those cards, so I've been playing these in real life at my tournaments. But I would absolutely just play 3 Joel and Lockbird and 2 more Fusion of Fire. Joel is insane against the Danger Thunder Dragon deck. They just actually cannot beat that card if you have it. And 2 more Fusion of Fire means you can just auto-win the mirror, because there's 3 Fusion of Fire in your deck after side decking going second. So it means you're just at 30-something% to open it. Or, it might be 40%, and then you're just able to kill them, because you only need 2 cards to kill them with this deck. But these cards are, fine replacements. I think Ghost Ogre is one of the weaker hand traps right now, but I think just having more hand traps against decks like Pendulum Magician and, the Mirror is really relevant. Game of Seal very good in the Mirror and against Striker. Order is just an I-win button against everything that plays spells. But then for the actual cards in the side deck, 3 Pankratops. This is just the best side deck card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. I think if I was playing Ghost second Salamangreat, which some people are doing, I would just main deck 3 of this idiot. I think this card's insane. It's so big, and it's so threatening, that it can just stay on the board and threaten to get rid of any problem that your opponent has. 3 Forbidden Chalice. I was actually playing this in the main deck for a while until I switched over to the Call by the Graves and the Reclusias, because this is an out to Artifact Scythe game 1. And it was my budget replacement for Impermanence. It does damage step shenanigans, so there was that as well. But it is in the side deck to deal with Artifact Scythe. I have no, my only way of dealing with Scythe game 1 is hoping I go first to open a Solemn or a Ash. for the Sanctum, because that's really the only way you can survive, is if you have Ash for the Sanctum, or if you have the Strike for the Scythe effect. If not, then you just die and you just go to game 2. But Chalice is a good out to that. 3 Twin Twister, mostly for Sky Striker, but I bring them in going second against most decks just because you're able to like clear away problematic back row or floodgates that people run in against you. So, and this card's just like very good in general, so. And then the Super Poly, because I just like winning the mirror. So that does it for my rank 4 Salamangreat deck profile. Like I said, I've been pretty disinterested in Yu-Gi-Oh! I haven't been playing a lot because of how many Salamangreat mirrors there have been, because I think the mirror match is absolutely terrible to play. It's not fun. It just revolves around Fusion of Fire and who can find it. There isn't really a lot of skill to it. If both players brick, it's kind of interesting, because then like you're each digging for your combo pieces. And the deck plays so many hand traps that you're just stopping the dig cards. Like, I had someone ash my my Salamangreat circle because it was my only way of finding a Salamangreat card. I ashed their circle, and then I, like, ogred the Gazelle, so neither of us could do anything. Like, those games are actually pretty fun, but, like, where one player bricks and the other player doesn't was pretty dumb. And there were a few suggestions I wanted to talk about real quick. So some of the cards you can play are... Lady Debug. I know some people really like this card. I think Foul's better, personally. I just think this card's really weak going second, and even going first, like, you need to open or the other things to make it good. Instead of Reclusia, some people are playing Terratop Takatomborg. I don't think these are very good. I just think that opening Takatomborg is very terrible, and even if you resolve your Terratop, then you still need to like have more to do, otherwise you're like not doing anything, you're not advancing the board. Because the problem is that these are not fire monsters, so they cannot make Sunlight Wolf. If these were fire monsters, then it'd be way better. And then some people are playing Flame Buffalo. I only like playing Buffalo if you're playing Scythe, and I'm not playing Scythe, so. But you can play these cards if you want. Anyway, that will do it for this deck profile, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave any suggestions, any tips, any future requests that you have for videos. I'm more than happy to provide you guys with the content that you want. You just have to let me know. Anyway, like I said, link to the deck list is in the description down below, along with Facebook and Twitter. And that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Nick from Team Table 511, and get good scrubs. I'll see you next time.